Welcome. The message that's coming through here is very specific for those that are transitioning into 5D, have already transitioned. Many of you have already transitioned. And this is kind of like some of the signs that you'll be experiencing after you've crossed that threshold, so to speak, into 5D timeline. And you'll know that you're in this timeline. This is for you because you already know the old world ways are not working for you anymore, including your typical manifestation process. Like old structures are falling away. There's nothing for you to grasp onto. There's nothing for you to cling to. But this particular message that's coming through is for those that are finding themselves in a place of peace and acceptance despite external circumstance, meaning everything that you desire on a soul level hasn't necessarily popped into your experience yet. And you are simultaneously at peace in the present moment where you do not resist your current reality. You may have, like in the previous video I recorded a couple of days ago in this playlist, some hooks from the matrix coming in, those little carrots for you to bite on that are rooted in your deepest insecurities. And you will have noticed, this transmission is for you because you will have noticed that you do not respond from panic or fear anymore with what used to send you spiraling. So where you used to respond in panic or fear, you now respond with stillness and peace. This is a clear indicator that you've already shifted timelines and you are detaching from the fear grid matrix. Fear is no longer able to control you, right? So some other signs that this message is for you is old structures are falling away. So careers, jobs, ways of earning, relationships, partnerships, just anything that's rooted in your old identity, the one where you used to perform and hustle or work really hard in order to achieve, right? And this may have worked for you in the old world. You may have been very successful at certain things. You may have had certain types of relationships that really felt aligned. You may have been, you know what I mean? Like all of those things served you, but not anymore. And you notice that and they're falling away. And so you might have a little clinging to these old structures as they fall away. And that's because, the egoic mind is still trying to grasp onto any sense of certainty or control that it has. But the message is coming through right now is you are shifting into non-linear prosperity, non-linear manifestation, divine manifestation. And so let's see how this comes out. I'm going to try to articulate what's coming through. I guess the best way for me to share this is to speak to the law of cause and effect. So this is like the last stand that the ego has to hold on to is if this is resonating, you've already alchemized. You've done the work. Like you've alchemized your shadow. Healed core woundings and things like that. Psyche woundings and things like inner child stuff, all of those kind of things. That's already that's all happened. That's already part of your experience if you're resonating with this. And one of the last stands the ego will make is, okay, well, I've done all the work. Where's the proof? And I talk about this a lot in other videos. So if this resonates with you, check out the playlist. This is the last stance of the ego is looking for proof in the external world while you're going through this transition and there is a delay. Because right now you are more in your integrity than you've ever been. You've been choosing yourself in every which way that you can. And even if you notice that there are places where you haven't been choosing yourself, you've had the bold, courageous action to draw a line in the sand, and you've taken sacred action, and you've said no, and you've detoured from what seems logical at this point, and you have cultivated a state of inner resilience and faith and strength, and you trust in your intuition and your knowing. Like, this right here is already like way beyond what most people are able to do in their lifetime, is to go beyond what seems logical, beyond fear, and trust so wholeheartedly in their knowing that you are able to make decisive, discerning decisions that are rooted in soul, that no longer compromise your time, your energy, your value, your worth. You're no longer able to cling to any kind of structure or relationship or dynamic or partnership or whatever that's rooted in manipulation or even transactional energy. Transactional, like, I do this and so then I receive this, right? That's very transactional. That's very cause and effect. And so here's the subtle nuance that's happening right now, if this is resonating with you, because your ego is probably coming online saying something like, okay, so I've done all this work. Where's the proof? It doesn't match up. Why is the reality not reflecting back what you already know to be true, and the frequency that you carry and the codes that you've activated? And here's why. You are, as you continue to transcend the dualistic mind from separation consciousness into unity consciousness, into oneness consciousness, heart-centered consciousness, Christ consciousness, whatever you want to call it, whatever word you want to put on it, you're you're no longer going to be able to look outside in the mirror, because the world is a mirror, and look for proof. This is why I say you are the proof, but here's why. So, okay, so I'm just going to play along with me. I don't know how this is going to come out. I'm hoping this is making sense, but I'm just going to go with it. You're no longer able to look outside in the mirror for proof. This is what I mean by divine manifestation, nonlinear prosperity, right? Like, you are the proof. And so let's dive a little deeper in this. When we talk about like the law of cause and effect, right? We're not going to discount the law of cause and effect. There appears to be cause and effect in this 3D reality that you're playing in, right? Like, if you were to go jump off a bridge, I don't recommend you do that unless you have a bungee cord attached to you, right? Like, we're not going to discount cause and effect in this 3D reality. We incarnated in this 3D reality to play this 3D virtual game, whatever this is that we're playing, this game of life, which is really illusory at best, because everything that even appears solid isn't even really solid. It's all energy, it's all frequency. And this is the key. This journey is separation consciousness into unity oneness consciousness. When you are embodied in living from presence, you are one. There is no, it's like cause and effect collapses in this presence, not because 3D reality doesn't have what appears to have cause and effect, but you we could either say cause and effect dissolves, or you could say you are the cause and you are the effect. You are the creator and you are the creation. So however you want to play with that, when you are fully embodied in your presence and you are abiding where, I say where loosely because it's not a location, where we are all one, which is when you are anchored in the divine presence of that which you are, the identity entity that you think you are collapses. And so this is the dissolving of separation consciousness as you fully embody your presence. And as you fully embody your divine presence, you transcend, for lack of a better word, the dualistic polarity and the linear form of like manifestation and creation, right? So you're no longer like cause and effect based, if that makes sense. And this is why you can no longer look outside in your mirror in the world and look for proof, because that's still the separate sense of self looking outside into the 3D world for evidence. So you're moving beyond the evidence-based identity, the proof-based identity, the one that feels separate from all that is, which is just really a figment in the mind. It's a conglomeration of thoughts and projections and belief systems and conditioning and patterns and memories and emotions and this body that you identify with, and all these things combined give you this like solidified sense of an identity, but in actuality it's illusory. You are this right here right now as the presence that is experiencing this, for lack of a better word. And so when we talk about the law of cause and effect, I want you to span out even bigger. Let's talk about the law of one, because the law of one, which states that all things are just an expression of the one, for lack of a better word, the oneness, the isness of all that is, meaning everything is all connected. Think of this as like kind of like a big container. Like the law of one is describing or pointing to this boundless, timeless, eternal container of all that is. And within all that is, there are all of these expressions that appear to be causing and affecting, right? But in actuality, what appears to be a person or a cause, like you taking an action, and then there's a reaction over here, deep, deep, deep down in. And when I say deep, deep, deep down, these again, these words don't make sense, but this is just how it's coming through, how I'm trying to point to this. All of that is still the infinite I am presence, the consciousness of that which you are appearing as this over here, this over here. So, oh God, what's coming? There's a visual that just came to me of, I don't know if you've ever seen this movie, but it is hilarious and it is so good. And it's a spoof on spiritual ascension. It's called I Heart Hucklebees. It's got like a star-studded cast. It has like Mark Wahlberg in it. It has Naomi Watts. It has Jude Law. It has God, there's so many other good actors in here it's got the guy from Rushmore, which is hilarious. Let's see. There's a couple other people. Obviously the two main stars in it, Dustin Hoffman and uh, Leah Thomas, is her name, or is it Leah Thompson? I don't know. I'm getting her name wrong. But anyways, it's hilarious. And where is I going this? Oh, there's a scene in this movie where, and I don't want to ruin it for you, so I won't share too much, but Dustin Hoffman is showing this blanket truth, and he's got his hands in this blanket, and he's showing the blanket truth like over here. So he's got his hands in this blanket. So he's trying to explain oneness, unity consciousness, and the fabric of life, of that which you are, basically. And he's trying to explain, he's like, okay, over here, there's a virus. Over here, there's a roller coaster. Over here, there's your grandma. Over here, there's the plague. Over here, there's, you know, whatever, a gourmet dinner. I don't even know. Like none of those are examples that he used, but they were all part of, he asked like what's the common thread? He's like, oh, it's all like the blanket. So it's the blanket truth that regardless of how things are appearing, the Eiffel Tower and a turkey dinner, like regardless, all things are the appearance of the fabric of life, which is what you are, and which is what everything else is. And so, if you really want to go down the rabbit hole with this, what is actually happening if everything is oneness playing the role as a turkey dinner or the Eiffel Tower or the plague or a, a wedding dress, right? Like if everything is an extension of this fabric of life, then essentially what is happening, what is really occurring in all of these interactions, and what comes up is nothing. No thing is happening. No thing is happening. Because all of those things that appear to be happening are just an expression of the nothingness of that which you are, which cannot be named, cannot be figured out, cannot be grasped onto, cannot be clinged to. It is this, let's just call it fabric of existence that is the essence, the true essence of all things, including you, including the lover that you think you need, including the money you think you need in your bank account, including all the things. And there's nothing wrong with any of those things, but as long as you're still in separation consciousness, operating from that identity, you're going to be seeking those things outside in the external world as either a form of validation. But this message is for those that have already moved through like needing the external validation, but you're still looking for the external world, the mirror to reflect back to you the proof. So this is like the whole point of this transmission. You're looking for the proof outside of yourself when you are the proof. Get it? Like you are the proof because you are all things and you keep looking outside of your reality for when is all of this stuff going to show up, especially because you've already done the work and you've already alchemized the things and you've already healed the wounds and you've already done the XYZs and you've likely been on this spiritual path for quite a while if you're resonating with this. This is one of the last little hooks that keep you looping in reactive mode with your 3D reality, keeping you held hostage in this 3D matrix. And you're not really being held hostage. This is just part of the transition. This is part of the transition because you're moving through the illusion that you are separate from everything else and everyone else and all that is, and you actually are all that is. And the proof that you're looking for is you. The proof that you're looking for is looking through your eyes right now. So at a certain stage of this journey, you'll be hit with all the synchronicities and all the proof you need on different phases of this journey. You will be bombarded with proof. Bombarded with proof. Are you not? Are you not already bombarded with synchronicities? Are you already bombarded by videos like this that are resonating? Are you already bombarded with other sacred mirrors showing up in your experience like this, sharing with you what you already know to be true that's really pinging you at your heart level, activating something within you? Are you already seeing all the numbers and all the signs and blah, blah, blah? Like you're already seeing all of it, but it's kind of like this, the energy of this needing the proof is now the block. The synchronicities that you were receiving is now a form of resistance on your path. Okay. So it's kind of like you're no longer able to cling or allow your conditioning to run the show where you need anything external outside of you to prove anything to you. about what you already know. And there is ultimately based on, like, let's just break this down. There is no outside of you. There is no outside of you. Only as the separate self is there an outside of you that you need to look into in what you call the world, the mirror, to find the proof. But there is nothing outside of you. Everything is within you because you are all of this. You are all of this. I hope this is resonating. We're diving deep. We're going deep down the rabbit hole because this is just something that wants to come through. And I hope this is resonating. So you're not crazy. You are transitioning from linear, identity-based, proof-based existence, identity, right? So the identity is collapsing and you are moving into embodying more and more presence and unshakable knowingness within you. And the proof that you used to receive in the form of all the synchronicities and everything, you are the synchronicity. At a certain stage on this journey, the proof outside of you that you think you still need is the resistance to fully letting go and being, because what else is there to do when you realize that you are all things and that there's nothing you can do to go get anything? Like the doing to go get the thing is the separated the identity rooted in separation consciousness that you have to go do something to go get something. And so none of this is making sense to your logical linear mind because it's not supposed to, because the mind can't even wrap its mind around this, right? If that's the thing, you can't wrap your mind around this. The mind doesn't understand this. This can't be understood. You can only be it. What else is there to do other than be still and know that you are God? You are not connected to God. You're not becoming one with God. You're not becoming one with this divine presence. You are the divine presence. You are the love. You are all of it. You are all of it. You are all of it. And so this this thing that's phasing out is you looking out into the mirror, aka the world, and needing it to reflect anything back to you to prove what you have, what you feel you need, right? Like the egoic mind is looking outside saying, I've done all the work, where's the proof? I've done all the work, where's the proof? Can you see how subtle this is, that the ego is coming through the back door looking for proof in the external world, aka the mirror? And only if it sees the synchronicities, the numbers, the bank account balance, the lover, the relationship, the job offered, like the blah blah blah, reflecting back to you exactly what you think, keyword think, you need, then you can be safe, then you can be worthy, then you can be lovable, then you can be good enough. This is still the egoic mind coming in the back door, seeking from from this separate sense of self identity that is rooted in separation, fear based consciousness, seeking outside in the world of form to validate. And it's so subtle. It's so subtle. It's getting more refined and refined. The ego is getting sneakier and sneakier to come in the back door because now you know too much. You've done a lot of the healing work. You've done you've healed your abandonment wounds. Like there's like so much you've done in this lifetime and previous lifetimes, and that is now this transmission is for those that are here with me right now. If you're still listening to this, this is for you, because otherwise this wouldn't even be resonating and you would have like clicked off of this a long time ago. So there's something here that's speaking to you, and it's not to your mind. I'm not speaking to your mind. What I'm sharing is something deeper that's activating a code within you or a knowing within you that you already know to be true because I'm just showing up as the mirror. And there's a part of you that's still looking for that mirror reflection to prove something, or you wouldn't be tuning into this video, right? And that's fine. That's part of it because we are all sacred mirrors for each other, walking each other home. But at a certain point, you won't need this either. Although this is a higher level of reflection back at you because it's confirming the last little threads that the ego is using to come in the back door. And there's no wrong or right to this because God, the divine, the infinite intelligence that you are, is going to put whatever is necessary for you to wake up to you on your path. You can't run from that. You can't do anything about it. You can't not do anything about it. It's going to happen regardless. The right video, the right person, the right sacred mirror, the right container, the right whatever is going to show up for you because it can't not, because you are it. Because you are one with all of it, because you are not separate from it. And when you no longer need the mirror, aka the world, to reflect back to you this inherent truth that you are God, you are one with all that created you, this is when your reality begins to bend to this and not before, because if you're still seeking outside yourself in the world of form, you're operating from separation consciousness. So you won't need the mirror to reflect back anything to you anymore. And that's fine. It's things will still show up for you, but you won't need it. You won't be attached to it. Synchronicities will still appear, but you will know with a little wink and a little smile to yourself that you wink to the universe and a little smile to yourself that you are winking back at you and you are smiling back at you because you are the synchronicity. That's why you're always in the right place at the right time and you can't fuck this up. And if you've been activated by your twin flame on this journey, then this should really be significant for you if you're listening to this. And it's regardless of whether you have or not, like this still is going to be resonating if you're at this stage of ascension and transition into new earth frequency. But let me repeat this so you can translate it in as a metaphor for your journey. When you no longer need the mirror to reflect back anything to you, this is when your reality begins to bend. And there is no better sacred mirror in this paradoxical play that we're playing out than your other self in another body. They are the epitome of your sacred mirror. So take that however you want, but this should be really activating something within you. This is why, and I'm not even trying to sell you anything because if you don't resonate, I don't want you to purchase anything. But this is why my Be the One bundle, it's not about trying to get your twin flame back. It's not about trying to like figure out how to like text guys in a certain way in order to like get the reaction that you need back or the confirmation you need back or whatever. It's not about manipulating the external world of form to get your way. The Be the One bundle is an activation portal into the truth I'm sharing with you now. It is a higher truth that will lead you to your liberation so that you are a free and sovereign being and not attached through codependency and trauma bonding anymore by in this 3D world, because you will be rising as your authentic true divine self fully in your physical form, expressing through this physical form, because we're not discounting reality here, or not reality, we're not discounting the world of form here. You are a unique expression of the one, and God just wants to play you full on, without the mask that says you're not good enough, without the mask that self-abandons, without the mask that says you're not worthy, without the mask that says you have to work really hard to prove your worth, without the mask that says you have to compromise your values, you have to settle for less than what truly lights you up. You are the light. Why do you have to settle for anything less than that? You don't. Only in your mind you do, because you've been conditioned to believe that you are less than, but you are not less than. You are one with the infinite creator that created you. You are the I am presence, the love, the divine presence, the essence, the all that is, the oneness, whatever you want to call it. You are the fabric of life itself, the existence of life itself. Like you are all of it. I could rampage on this forever. This is just what wants to come through, and it's a subtle nuance that if you're resonating with this, there's nothing to say. There's no words to say how effing powerful this is. And no one else, don't look for other people to understand this or get it. That's the other thing that's coming through. If you're trying to seek advice or get guidance from someone that has not walked this, please don't do that because that will really spiral you and get into feed the egoic mind that you're crazy because you are literally transcending 3D reality and living from the inside out is the best way to describe it. Everybody else is doing it backwards. You're not here to do it backwards anymore. You're flipping the script on everything. This is a complete 180 and a whole new game with whole new rules that do not apply to people that are not on this timeline. And there's nothing wrong with people that are not on this timeline. Just don't try to make it. It's like fitting a square peg in a round hole. Your conversations are not going to flow very well and they're not going to be able to validate you. And that's just you seeking validation again. The ego loves to seek the validation. You won't need the synchronicities to confirm or prove or validate anything for you. You are the synchronicity. You are the synchronicity. You are the tarot reader that you keep listening to that's reflecting back to you the messages that you feel you need at this time. You are that. There is no separation. Separation is the illusion. And so, just to wrap this up, I feel like within this oneness, within all that is, within the fabric of existence, there appears to be what's cause and effect, right? Like there's these things that we don't have to discount or deny, and I don't recommend that you do. But you do begin to see with different eyes, is the best way I can say it. You see with different eyes. You're not looking through your human eyes, through the logical linear mind. You see with true spiritual vision, which is like X-ray vision. You get to see behind the facade, right? Behind the curtain of how things, and this is still unknowable. Like even with this spiritual vision and spiritual clarity, the closer you get to seeing it, the more you surrender to the fact that you don't know any of what's happening. You can't figure this out. Life, you can't figure this out. The ego would love to figure this out and put it in a box and make sense of it. But if you actually look around just for like in your environment right now, nothing makes sense. There's just labels we've applied to things to try to describe them, to make sense of them. But you don't have to make it make sense. And it's not, and I wouldn't recommend you try to make it all make sense. You might as well just have fun in the mystery and the unknowableness of all of this because that's where the fun is. That's the ride we came to, that's the ride we came to play, right? Like that's the game of life. We're not meant to have it all figured out. We're not meant to have everything logical and linear and just check off a bunch of boxes, hit a couple of goals on the way, and then pay some taxes and die. Like that's not why we're here. So enjoy the mystery, embrace the unknowing, the unknowable mystery that this is because you're not going to figure it out and you don't have to. You don't understand how you're probably watching this video through what appears to be a smartphone or a laptop or a computer, but you're still doing it. You don't understand electricity, but you use it. Like the closer you get to the truth, the more you know there's nothing to know. There's nothing to figure out. You just be it. You just be it. There's nothing else to do but to let go and be it. And by letting go, I mean releasing resistance. And by releasing resistance, I mean no longer clinging. And by no longer clinging, I mean no longer attaching to things being a certain way, because it's that control that the ego tries to, overlay on top of this experience, that need to control outcomes and have certain expectations and certain specified ways that things need to play out. That egoic control is what is putting the resistance on the path. And I talked about this in a previous video. The ego will immediately come in and be like, but if I don't step in and control this, shit's going to hit the fan. Well, let me ask you, is shit already hitting the fan in your experience anyways? If you're listening to this, shit has hit the fan. Tower moments have occurred. Death and rebirths have been experienced. Dark nights of the soul have been experienced, right? You're not going to escape your ascension. And you can't, even if you wanted to, you can't even escape the now. You're already here now, and this is the only place you can be ever. So the only place you can try to escape the now is in your mind, and that's just illusory. So you're always here, you're always now. You can't escape this, and you can't try to figure it out or anything like that because it's not going to make logical sense. And it's not supposed to. You're supposed to have fun and play in the moment, in the mystery. Isn't that more fun than having everything planned out? Do you really want to know the rest of your life and exactly how it's supposed to play out and how everything's supposed to come in at different times and the bigger picture? Do you really want to know the whole big picture right away? You say you do on some level, but that's just your ego clinging to a false sense of safety or security or certainty. And New Earth frequency doesn't have this false sense of safety, security, or certainty. This is the free fall. You are in the free fall right now, the free fall, the letting go and the trust fall with life, trust fall with the universe, trust fall, letting go, declinging from the things that you've been attached to and that you've been clinging to for false sense of safety, security, validation, or approval. Those things you cannot hold on to anymore, which is why they've been falling away. So when the ego comes in the back door and says, but I got to hold on to shit and I got to control shit, otherwise shit's going to hit the fan. Really? Because what hasn't shit already been hitting the fan with the ego trying to grip and control the wheel this whole time? Life's going to life. Your soul came here to experience. Life's going to life. The best thing you can do is surrender to that. Release the resistance by not clinging to any set of expectations and outcomes and allowing infinite intelligence that's running the show anyways and always has been to do its thing unencumbered by the separate self running in the mix of things, trying to grab the steering wheel because it's all rooted in fear and threat prevention. You can still have threat prevention. You're still going to run if a bear's trying to eat you. You're still going to jump out of the car that's in front of you if it starts to move in front of, like, you're still going to have survival instincts. You're still going to have ways to take care of yourself if things happen. Like you're going, like you're still going to take aspirin if you stub your toe. You're still going to call 911 if there's a fire. You're still going to, life is going to life, right? Like you're not just going to be like, this is what the ego tries to sell you. The ego tries to sell you that you're just going to be some like lazy lump on a log, like just sitting there doing nothing, and like that the shit's just gonna spiral out of control and you're gonna be like dead in the gutter somewhere, homeless, and like all shit's gonna hit the fan. Like the ego's gonna just pack on the stories of whatever it can to tell you that you need to grip the wheel again and try to control this process. The more you go down this rabbit hole, the more you realize you don't have that level of control that you think you have. If you have any control whatsoever, it is in what I've shared before, the conscious point of discernment, and it's closer than close to you. Are you going to operate from the separate self and take the bait? take the fear-based bait that's dipped in your insecurity and go down the fear rabbit hole again? Or are you going to remain here as the presence that you are and allow life to life, but be one with it instead of victim of it, because you're now in reaction mode as a separate sense of self with life happening to you. You are life and everything is happening within you. There's a big difference there. That is your most powerful point of choice. If you have any choice on this journey, which I'm not discounting free will. Is there free will? There appears to be free will. There appears to be what is called like destiny and just things happening. It appears to be all of it, like yes and no, right? Like there's no definitive one answer. It appears to be very divinely guided. It appears to be choices that can be made. There appears to be things that are just karmic playing out that have no control. There appears to be a sense of pivot that one can make. But the one thing that seems crystal clear is the pivot that can be made is the most powerful choice you can ever make. And that is here right now in each and every moment, which means it's not something that can just happen once, but it's a moment, moment, moment. It's like one big now moment. You can choose to take the bait and go down the fear rabbit hole, or you can choose to remain as the presence and the awareness and the divine presence that you are. Life begins to unfold very differently when you remain as the truth of who you truly are. I use this in the previous message, uh, in this playlist, where you remain the ocean. You are the ocean. You're not the baby drop in the ocean. Although you appear as a separate individualized drop, you've always been the ocean. And the ocean is now waking up, for lack of a better word, because the ocean's never been asleep. Better word, the ocean is realizing it was never a drop to begin with. This is as you remain the presence that you are. So you're no longer operating from this constricted, rigid, little separate drop that you've always thought and identified yourself to be. So what's really collapsing here is the identity that thinks it is separate. And one of the last little things that the ego will be doing, kicking and streaming as you are detaching from the fear grid, is that it will come in the back door and try to say, look, I've done all these things. Where is the proof? And the proof that you're seeking is now the resistance, because the old paradigm needed proof. The new paradigm is rooted in presence. You are it. You have nowhere to go, nowhere to be, nothing to do other than be. And from that, paradoxically, everything that needs to unfold will unfold organically in the moment, unplanned. It will be, even when you make plans, do you even follow through with all of them? No, you don't. You still end up doing whatever happens in the moment. Organically, whatever is meant to unfold in the moment will unfold in the moment. But the difference here is when you no longer have the separate sense of self that is bogging you down with shame and guilt and fear and unworthiness, what gets to unfold organically through you is of a higher frequency. You are a creator. You are a beacon, right? You are an extension, an expression of the one, and so is everything else. And you are you are creating through this vessel. You are a channel. You are a vessel, and you are creating through this vessel through your frequency. So someone needed to hear this, whether you're listening to this now at the time of this recording in May of 2025, which is when a lot are tipping into the new Earth 5D timeline and are already in it, which is why you're experiencing these like training wheels, so to speak. This is like you're learning to ride the bike all over again with a whole new way of being. And you're kind of like still in with training wheels on. This is normal. This is part of acclimating, for lack of a better word, to a whole new paradigm and way of existing and a whole new way of being. Or whether you're listening to this on the replay, I don't know, 5 years from now, who the hell knows? If you've landed on this, it's for a reason. And if this resonated with you, I would love, 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 love to hear from you in the comments. It's so fun to connect. And I really love to connect with those that have lasted through the whole video because I know you were really part of this tribe and collective that's feeling this. So, if you could drop maybe your favorite heart emoji in the comments or whatever emoji, just drop, no, let's make it specific. Um, Drop a white heart emoji. I don't know why that's coming through, but drop a white heart emoji if you're still here with me. That is the little wink. That is the little wink that that you're here and you're part of this collective and this wave that is leading this new paradigm. So I could talk about this forever, but I am going to record something else here. If you do want to dive deeper into this and you feel called by programs or portals and you don't need me, you don't need anything outside of yourself. But if you're listening to this and you feel called to have a sacred mirror reflect this back to you and you want to be part of conversations like this in real time that are more personalized, then there's a lot of different ways we can work together. The two that are popping up right now is Embody the Empress membership or Rise Sister Rise. I'll share the links for all of the different ways we can work together in the description or caption or wherever you're listening to this. And until next time, I hope this finds you well. Namaste.